Okay, this is my Grinch Scrooge tree. And as I've mentioned before in other videos, Grinch and Scrooge, they're pretty basically almost the same story, same storyline. Obviously, it's a grouchy person who doesn't have a lot of love in their heart, and then one day they wake up and see the light, right? On Christmas Day, no less. So, anyway, I used to have on here my Scrooge ornaments that I got from my friend Mary Alice's store. Start back here in the back part of the tree. Here's a Grinch stocking. I used to just only have Scrooge, and then I had other pieces on here, other ornaments that I no longer put on this tree, like Spider-Man and Lucy, you know, from I Love Lucy, and a few other ornaments that I do still keep on here. I did not have this white tree until I moved here. I used to have, before the white tree, it was a green Christmas tree, and I had that tree when I lived in Chicago. We had it in our basement. Our basement was finished off, and I had a tree that was down there. And the whole theme down in our basement was like entertainment sort of thing, even the pictures on the wall and stuff. Because, you know, we had a pool table down there, we had a kitchen down there, a family room, and it was kind of like the kids hang out and, you know, where everybody was entertained, and if we had company and going down there with, you know, friends and playing pool and that kind of thing. So that was the main theme, entertainment. So it was like my entertainment tree. So like movies and TV shows like Scooby-Doo, I had like some Scooby-Doo ornaments, and, you know, things like that. That's what we used to have on this tree. I had a lot of Disney ornaments on this tree too. I don't put all of them out, but I do put some of them out. But anyway, it was at the same time my friend Mary Alice had all those the Christmas Carol ornaments, and so I still have those. So when I got this white tree, I changed the theme. It was my Scrooge tree, and then I started adding Grinch pieces every year to it. And if I still see some Grinch pieces, I'll probably still pick them up, you know, so that I have them for here. But anyway, that's what, you know, how all of this came up. And so I do all the little squiggly things, you know, for the Who's, you know, they're all little squiggly hair and everything like that. Okay, so I have this Grinch stocking. I showed you that. Here is Scrooge. This is when he's going to bed before the ghosts come to visit him. I got this when we were here at that one store that they have a clearance on all their Christmas stuff. This is a Disney, that's Tinkerbell. I got this Christmas exchange at work from another friend. Well, she wasn't actually a friend. She just worked in the office with me. You know, sometimes you just get those people that you're nice to them because you have to be nice to them because they're just not pleasant people. This girl, she wasn't a very pleasant person at all. So, you know, you're just nice to be nice, but that's it. You know, I'll see you at work, and like when you go home and you say goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow, and that's what you mean. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't call me. I'm not going out with you or nothing like that. You know what I mean? We all have those people in our life, unfortunately. But anyway, she was one of them, but I do have to say she gave me a nice ornament. And there's a couple other ones she gave me too. Let's see. This is a boxer. I don't know where I got that ornament. This one, it's the same as like right over here. This came in a set, so I'll show you all the different ones as I find them. I think I got that at Walmart last year, the year before. I forget where I get these presents, but here's Bob Cratchit there. And I forget where I got these snowmen, but I love these blown glass ornaments. Just love them. There's the snowman from Rudolph. There's Cindy Lou Who. There's the Grinch. This is part of the set with that there. I got a couple of these. I forget where I found these. Is it at Meijer or my friend Diana's store? Anyway, I love those, and they're glass too. So I got a couple of those. This comes in that one set with that one and that one over there. This is Jacob Marley. This came from that one store that had the clearance on everything. It's probably maybe where I got these presents on there too. But here's a Grinch here. There's a Grinch there. This is Mr. Fezziwig and his wife. There's Scrooge when he was coming home before he sees Jacob Marley on the door knocker. There's a Grinch there. I forget where I got that. This is part of that one set of those ornaments. That's Santa from Rudolph. There's Mickey Mouse there. There's Mickey Pluto there. That was, I think, one of my son's first Christmas ornaments, my son Josiah. Here's the Ghost of the Future. By the way, one of my ornaments, and I forget what it is. Oh, I think it was the Ghost of Christmas Present, is broken. So I don't have that. This and this is part of that set of ornaments as well as that there. This is Scrooge and Alice. Remember, he went into the past and he saw his old girlfriend. And then some of these ornaments, I forget exactly where I picked everything up. But there's Max. That's the Grinch's dog. So that's pretty much. And like I said, you know, the Who's have all the curly, squirrely looking things. So that's why I put like things like that and this, and how I have the tree decorated with the swirly things. But as I told you before, see, you stand back, see, the further that you get away, and especially at nighttime, look at that. See, like the bigger ornaments, they stand out, and it looks like you only have just those few ornaments, but when you get up on there, obviously, you can tell that there's lots and lots of ornaments just, you know, all over the tree. And so then these are the wreaths. And I have another one over here. These are the ones I got at Bed Bath & Beyond. These were those other elves from my friend Diana's store. Where did I get this? I bought him. I think I bought him since I've been here, but I can't tell you what store I got him at. I think I got him at Marshall's. I think I did. That, I made that. Those carolers I got at the Christmas tree shop. There's that other little shelf. It's a bear. This, where did I get that? Was that a home interior thing? I can't even remember. And then I added the pine cones to that. I got this at Meyer when we lived in Chicago as well. And let's see, I got this at my friend Diana's store. I bought this, I think, since I was here, that Santa. And that penguin I also bought at my friend Diana's store. So this is a little carousel set, and I think I've showed you this before. My mother-in-law got this when they were living in Houston. The first Christmas, or the second Christmas that my husband and I were married, and we went down there. She had just bought this off of Home Shopping or QVC, one of those home shopping networks, and she had this up on their Christmas mantle, and or on their fireplace mantle with all their Christmas things. And she liked this because she got it, she said, for like future grandkids, you know. And I had already had, I was pregnant our first Christmas, and Joe was already here by the second Christmas. So anyway, she's the one that got that. And that Christmas wreath, I bought that, and it was fully decorated. I forgot what store I bought it at, and it was on sale, so I got it really cheap. And I've always wanted to have a wreath over my bed. And you want to know where I got the inspiration for that? Home Alone, the first Home Alone. You know, when Kevin's going into his mom, asking about the batteries and the battery charger and that sort of thing. And she had a wreath over her bed. And I always told my husband, I said, one day I want to have a wreath over our bed. And then, of course, you know that I changed out the ornaments on that. This, of course, I've gotten this since I was here. All the ornaments I've put on since the last year, they're all new. So there's no sentimental ornaments or anything on this tree, as you guys obviously can tell on that. And this garland, I actually bought this in Chicago. This is like an original piece, and this, but like this ornament, that ornament, this one, all the different ornaments like that bear over there, I added those. I added this ribbon. I actually bought this ribbon when we were living in Chicago too, I think at Meijer, but it wasn't until I moved here. It was on a spool, and I wanted to change out this didn't have any ribbon on it. It just had like this stuff. I added the beads to it. I added the ribbon, but anyway, I had a spool of that, and I liked it because of can you see the detail on there? So I like that. I forget where I got that fiber optic. Angel, my mother-in-law, she had that, and it's got a thing to put a little night light thing. When I go to Walmart and I get those for the downstairs above the soffit, I'm going to get another thing to plug this in here too. I bought that, and that, I think, at Walmart when I was still living in Chicago. And so that's it for the mantle of the fireplace. I told you I had the fireplace on. I think I bought that Santa Claus, that Father Christmas, I should say, a couple years ago, and I forget, maybe Marshall's I got it, something like that. I put that thing together. This, I forget exactly where I got that. Maybe I got that at Diane's store, but I just added this to it. Lacey, she pulled that off the tree, and instead of hanging it back up, I thought, well, let me just put it on here for that guy. She pulled another ornament off, and she thought it was a ball, and she shattered it into like a gazillion pieces. So now let's go into the office. And this tree, I bought this when we were living in Chicago. Where did I have this? Did I have it in my bathroom or my bedroom? I can't even remember. So a lot of these ornaments that are on here is, from when, I bought that tree. And one thing about these ornaments, I was noticing they're dusty. I've got to get all the dust off of there, because I usually just cover it up with a blanket or something, or a sheet, and keep it downstairs instead of taking it all apart. That's new, obviously. That's my mother-in-law's. I leave that out all year. I like to have a little bit of Christmas here and there in different rooms. And this candle ring, I've had that probably since I was in Chicago. You keep hearing, since I was in Chicago, since I was in Chicago. When I wrap up this video, I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. But speaking of Chicago, this is where I got these over at Meijer, and they still work. So he sings Frosty the Snowman, and she sings Santa Baby. And he'll swing his thing around in a little bit. But anyway, so there's those. And I forget where I got this Santa. I've had him for a while too. I got a sleeping kitty. My Christmas cards are there. I never did plug that menorah in. I had to use my printer to print out my letters for Christmas, so I tossed it over there so I can get it plugged in, because I got to bend down and do all of that. So now let's go above the front door. That's the last thing to discuss. And I told you in my last vlog about my garland here on the stairs. So when I was living in Chicago, I bought the moose and the 2 snowmen. And I think I bought the gingerbread lady there too. And no, I bought her here. But where did I have those? I think I might have had them downstairs in our basement around the Christmas tree. And then when we came here, I got the Nutcracker. I got that elf girl, no, the gingerbread girl. I think I got her at Sears, believe it or not. And the Mickeys and the Tigger and the Pluto, I believe I got those over at Sears, and Woody, I got him over at Lowe's. Maybe the Pooh I got at Walmart, but the Tigger and the Mickey and Minnie carolers, I got those over at Sears. And then the lamppost and the tree, I got those at Lowe's. I bought that wreath when we first moved here because I decorated above the door our first Christmas. And I only had that wreath and Mickey, Minnie, Pooh, and Tigger, and I had those there. And I had not that Santa. I just bought that Santa a few years ago over at Home Depot. I had that other Old World Santa right there in the living room. I had him up there with that sleigh. I bought that sleigh too. I think I got that sleigh at Marshall's. And that's all that I had up there. And I just put the snow, and I didn't have any lights or anything. We didn't do the lights until last year. But I wanted to put something above the door when we first moved here, so at least I had those things up there. There was no electric or anything, and I had told my husband I wanted lights and to run an extension cord down, and he always said no. He doesn't like cords showing. I said, we can keep it behind, like, you know, the wood of the door, that, you know, of the frame, and he still said no. And then last year, my son Adam was helping me put everything up. He goes, why don't we ever put lights up? So I said, let's just go ahead and do it. And then we put the lights around the garland and everything too. And then see, when Harry came home and he saw it, see, I told you before, my husband is not a visionary. That's why I can have a great idea on something, and at first, I'm not sure. He'll just say no, because he cannot envision anything of what it's going to look like. He just can't. And so one of those things with my husband, you just have to just do it. And then when he comes home, oh, this is really nice. It's like, I told you it was going to be nice. So that's the thing with the lights. He really likes the lights up there. But yeah, for the longest time, we just didn't have anything. Just, you know, like I said, those things, the one Santa with the sleigh, and then those, and we just had them kind of like all in the front there and then the front there. And so now we have boxes that we set up there, and then, you know, they stand on the boxes. And that's about it for that. So in ending this, why do I keep saying, and I got this from Chicago, and I got this one, because I did. I have still a lot of my Christmas decorations from when we lived in Ohio, when we lived in Virginia. It's just that I have gotten so many new things over the years that I just, where am I going to put it? I can't put it anywhere. You know what I mean? So I don't have a whole lot of those things out. All of my kids' Christmas stockings, we used to hang their stockings up. When we lived in Virginia, we didn't have a fireplace. So on like the rail here, we had a split foyer home, we had a rail, and I would hang their stockings like that. When we built our house in Chicago, we had a gas fireplace and the mantle was up high, so we hung their stockings every year from the mantle like you're supposed to. But when we came here, though we have a fireplace and a mantle, we have that wood stove, and with things hanging down, you know, they get dusty, and it's like a fire hazard. I just don't like that idea. So what I used to do was this inside of the rail here, I would hang their stockings there. But they're older now, you know, they're in their 20s, and so they don't get stockings anymore. So I just don't hang them up anymore. But when we lived in Ohio, we had one Christmas tree. It was a live tree. When we lived in Virginia, we just had one Christmas tree. It was always a live tree. Then when we went to Chicago, we had, I think maybe the first year, we had one live tree, and then I got tired of the live trees and the needles falling off. We switched over to the artificial, and when I got the one tree for the family room, I wanted a second tree, and my husband was like, why do you want two trees? Where I got the idea of doing two trees, our next door neighbors, when we were living in Ohio, she had two trees. And I remember the first time she told me about getting her second tree, She goes, you know, every year I always put clear lights on my tree, but this year I want a tree that's nothing but a red tree. I'm going to put nothing but red lights on it and like red ornaments with like white and things like that. She goes, and then I'm going to get another tree and I want to put nothing but blue lights all over it, and then, you know, do ornaments that were kind of like blues and that kind of thing. And I thought, 2 trees. I'd never heard of anybody ever having 2 trees before, you know, until she had said that. Then, like I said, we moved to Virginia. We never had 2 trees, always had 1. I think I tried talking Harry into getting a second tree, and he said no. But when we went to Chicago after that first year, when we got the artificial, which was that, I told him I wanted another one, and we got that for the dining room. And so we had 2 trees. And of course, like with my husband, I know you can't just throw things at him quickly. You got to wait, you know. So I waited a year or 2. And then I said, I'm going to get another tree for the living room. Why do you want to do that? That'll be 3 Christmas trees. Who has 3 Christmas trees? I said, we don't have to be like everybody else. So I just went and I got a tree. And then that's when I started getting ornaments from, you hear me talking about Diana's store. That's where I got a lot of my ornaments from her store, and I started collecting them over the last several years that we lived in Chicago. And then I got that little tree too. So I think we had 4 trees. Then when we moved here, the first Christmas, obviously I had the family room tree, I had our old living room tree, and the dining room tree, and the one that's in the office I put up in the office. The tree that we had here is this one. I got this from Target. And Target trees, forget it, because the lights always burn out quickly on them. So I'm not going to buy no more Target trees. But this is still the Target tree. And I'm thinking about getting rid of that this year. Next year I'm going to buy a new tree that's already pre-lit, so I don't have to keep stringing all these lights. But so I bought a tree from Target and I put it here. And I used to have it. It was my candy cane tree. And I should see, I think on my other computer upstairs, I think I have some of my old house tours. I'm going to go look. Because if I do, I'll upload them to this channel. I just didn't even think of that. I think I might do that. So after I'm done uploading these vlogs, if I still have them, maybe instead of like vlogging every day, that's what I'll do. I'll throw out one of my old open houses. I should still have them saved. So anyway, but I had a candy cane tree and it was really nice. And I gave that to my son last year. And that's when I did this polar ice tree. Now, the Grinch tree upstairs, I did have a tree up there. It was the tree that we used to have in the basement. I forgot that basement tree. So we had the basement tree, the small tree, the family room tree, the living room tree, and the dining room tree. We had 5 trees in Chicago, but we gradually got them through the years that we were there, is what I'm trying to say. And then, like I said, then when we moved here, then I added that one. And that little one that's in my bathroom, that was in Chicago too. So actually 6 trees from Chicago. So anyway, that's the little history of everything. Most of the stuff I did get in Chicago because I was working in advertisement. I had a lot of clients. That's when I started to get a lot of my trees, and the trees needed to be decorated. And while I'm buying Christmas ornaments to decorate my Christmas trees, you know, you get other little things too, you know. So that's how I've collected all of this. And the biggest part of the collection was the 11 years that we lived in Chicago. And that's the other thing. We lived there for 11 years. So anyway, that's my Christmas of memories past. I'm going to look to see if I can find some of those older home tours. And until then, I hope that I did not bore you guys. But those are all the memories of where I got everything, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.